What's going on, you guys? So, there's been a lot of talk about the recent Marius update for Imperator Rome, and it has a lot of people talking. And I wanted to kind of take a look at it because they released a trailer here. So, let's just dive in and take a look at this because this is a juicy screenshot here.
For those who seek it, the path to greatness is fraught with perils. Sly tongues in the Senate can turn any tide. And where diplomacy fails, war awaits. We must gather our forces and crush our enemies. And when they have fallen before us, we will raise the greatest wonders the world has ever seen. Now, prepare to master greatness.
All right, so that was wow. There's a lot to unpack there. So I went to the Game Imperator website and let's take a look at it here. So this is the new UI. I did like the old UI, but this looks gorgeous. You know, and when Imperator Rome first came out, I was among those people that really loved it because not only was it fun to play, but I saw its potential. And this is where the potential is coming out, and it shows in the reviews because if you go to the Imperator Rome, Steam page, you can see that everybody's enjoying this game here, basically. All right, so Heirs Alexander, Greater Depth 2, playing out Grand Ambitions with Suclit, Potomac. Okay. And then, yeah, cultural integration. You can extend political rights, citizenship to large subject minorities, increasing their loyalty and productivity. That's awesome. Yeah, this is definitely brand new. Rework politics. Republics have fewer political parties to track, and their voting preferences are more easily understood. Ooh. Kind of gives you that sense of democracy, but also like hopefully you have the majority. Okay. Classic world was full of sacred groves and mysterious locales. Historic sites increase the strength of relevant deity in your pantheon, or may be sacked of their wealth by less faithful rulers. Manage the Senate in a republic, dictate the lives of men in a monarchy, answer to the clans in a tribal system. Let's take a look at that. And I think there was one other thing that it affected once I go through all this, and if it's not here, we also introduced our new, more human-like character art. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I could definitely tell that difference. Cool, nice. I like it. Diverse populations, citizens, freemen, tribesmen, slaves, each population with its own culture, religion, whether they fill your armies, fill your coffers. Colonies, keep an eye on happiness. Oh, nice. Very nice. Wow. Strategic warfare. All right. There was one other thing I wanted to show you guys. Take a look at is this. All right, Marius update tutorial, economy and trade rebuilt. While you're walking out in the dust of road to victory, here's another video tutorial to help you get through the changes, brought to you by 2.0. Let's take a look at this. Doesn't mean long run, 6 minutes.
Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Surreal Beliefs and I'm collaborating with Paradox Interactive to bring you another guide for Imperator Rome. We've covered the changes to the military and warfare so far, but now it's time to get into what fuels your empire, gold. In today's guide, I'll be breaking down income and expenses in your economy, as well as the newly added trade mechanics at the very end. The Economy tab is a one-stop shop for checking on the welfare of your economy. Not only does this tab give you a breakdown of your income and expenses, but it also allows you to modify each category with economic policies. These policies will change your income and usually come with other positive or negative modifiers. Your economy's income is primarily determined by three factors: taxes, commerce, and tributes. When it comes to taxes, every nation starts with a base tax of 2 gold per month, regardless of population. From then on, taxes are generated by freemen, tribesmen, and slave pops, with slaves generating vastly more income than the other two. This means slave pops will typically be the backbone of your economy, and you'll be rewarded for gathering slave pops and increasing their output as well. The second pillar of your economy, commerce, is centered around the import and export of goods via trade routes. The value of any trade goods depends on the rarity of the resource, how far away the trade route is from your capital, and whether you're importing or exporting. Exports will always generate more income than imports. We'll dive deeper into trade a little bit later in the video. For now, let's move on to the final pillar of your economy's income, tributes. Should you have any subject states, they will pay you a percentage of their income as tributes. Now that you know how to generate some income, let's move on to expenses. You can expect to have three major expenses: military upkeep, fort maintenance, and wages. While your levies no longer cost you any money in upkeep, you still have to pay maintenance for the leader's salary, and of course any legions for your republics and monarchies. Then of course you have to consider the long-term cost of your navy, or even mercenaries. In addition to military maintenance, you'll have to fork over some gold for fort maintenance too. Forts have a base maintenance of 0.5 gold per month. To make sure your fort maintenance costs don't spiral out of control, you can disband any forts that are no longer in strategic areas you need, or comb through your recently conquered lands to see if your old enemy built any forts there that are no longer needed. Your final area of expense will be wages. With the exception of governors, anyone else who holds office in your government will draw wages from your treasury each month. The amount each character gets paid depends primarily on the position they're in and the total income of the country. The more money you're bringing in, the higher the wages these statesmen will collect. As I mentioned before, all your income and expenses can be modified by your economic policies. You'll need to keep a close eye on your economic policies and change them out when needed to better fit your current circumstances. For example, if you're exporting a lot of goods, you'll reap some extra benefits from switching to free trade. If you're confident you won't be in any wars for a while, you can scale back your army, fleet, and fort maintenance to save money and build up your economy. Now that you know how to effectively shape your economy, let's take a closer look at the trade mechanic. Trade is the movement of a good from one province to another, and is essential to your economy. Trading probably won't make you as much money as taxes do initially, but it does provide a lot of other benefits on top of the revenue it brings in. The Trade Overview tab shows your trade information, capital surpluses, and all available trade routes. There's a wide variety of trade goods available to you, and each type of good provides a different benefit. Strategic goods like iron will allow you to recruit heavy infantry in your country. Population goods like honey, marble, or precious metals will increase pop happiness and productivity. Food-based goods, such as wheat and fish, can be used to boost pop growth and help sustain a growing city. Each city in Imperator offers a predetermined trade good that's managed at the province level. The first copy of this trade good will always stay in that province, providing local bonuses across your country. For every 15 slaves in a settlement, or every 20 slaves in a city, you'll earn an additional copy of that good, allowing you to have a surplus. You can keep that surplus to gain more benefits, or you can trade it off. There will be a number of import trade routes available to your empire throughout your campaign, and the exact amount is determined by the number of noble and citizen pops in your province. You can import any trade good available within your diplomatic range too, even if you already possess that good. From an economic standpoint, importing goods will generate a small amount of income, while exporting goods will generate much more. So one strategy you can leverage to maximize your gains is to move pops around your empire to areas where you can create a surplus and a trade good.
Oh wow.
Then you can trade off that surplus as an export. As the game progresses, your trade economy will begin to outpace your tax economy, further creating a focus for slave pop management. I also want to remind you here that the new system of potentially losing pops as levies during warfare can wreak havoc on your economy and your trade, so be very mindful of that when approaching any future wars. Now, the Mary's update coming up did bring a small addition to your trading affairs for you to consider. In the Nation Overview tab, Under the Administration category are two tabs, Governorships and Provinces. Here you can enable automatic trading at a provincial level. The governors there will automatically trade goods, and they'll of course focus on supplying food to their people too. This means you could automate your trade, or select and choose which provinces you would like to manage
That's
personally.
cool. I like that.
That pretty much covers the essential basics of economy and trade in Imperator Rome.
Guys, that is unbelievable. That's unbelievable. That's absolutely amazing. So that was one of the things that I really loved about Victoria 2, right? Is if you went into a full-on war, right? Like let's say for example you develop an army of, I don't know, let's say 500,000 soldiers, right? When you go out into the battlefield and you lose, let's say those 500,000 soldiers, they're all wiped out, right? That will affect the economies, the population in those home states. And it looks like they're doing something similar here, where if war comes to, your nation of, let's say, Rome, right? And you know how like the military armies go into these areas and they'll say -1 pop, and you're like, oh, big deal. That now is going to have a great big effect on your economy, which is amazing. I really love this new system. And as I was watching the video, I started thinking, I think we are entering the golden age of Imperator Rome. And what I mean by that, this is the beginning of the golden age. This is the beginning of where everybody starts going like, "Wow, this game is amazing." Right? And of course it's going to still climb that mountain. We're not at the top right now, but we're getting there. And you can see it in all these changes and enhancements. So, wow. I'm really amazed. And the big thing that I really love about this, about all this, is that this is free. We're at 2.0. You don't need a DLC. You don't need anything like that. This is all free for you. So, man, this is amazing. They did so many changes since the initial game. It's almost like a completely different game at this point. It took the good from the original and just kept changing the things that weren't good and then made a just shining lighthouse among the sea. So this is amazing, guys. I can't wait. I actually probably going to start a new Imperator Rome game because, dang, this is, whew, wow. Big props to Paradox Development Studios because you guys. All right, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.